Stories from around the world.
The Photograph by Sefi Atta, read by Damien Lynch. In today's world, there are photographs everywhere. Web pages on the internet, magazines full of fashion and film stars, newspapers full of photos of war and sport, places and people from other lands. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and maybe it is. But what is the picture telling us? Sometimes we only see what we want to see. Make a picture in your mind. A girl with thin cheeks and tired eyes. Her arms and legs are as thin as sticks. She is only skin and bone. Clouds of dust circle above her head as the food trucks drive away. Their wheels leave marks on the dry ground, and soon only the marks show that the food trucks came to the village and left. The sun is at its hottest. The African sky is unending and cruel. Even the white men with cameras, busily taking photographs of the usual fighting over the food, are now getting ready to leave. They pack away their cameras, jump into their cars, and drive quickly away to cool, modern hotels in a city miles away. They are photojournalists. One of them, sunburned and hot, dressed in a shirt and jeans, kneels down on the dusty ground to take some photographs of the girl before he leaves. In the pocket of his shirt is a protein bar, soft from the sun, uneaten, untouched, forgotten. He doesn't stop to think about the uneaten bar in his pocket and the starving girl. He is only one man. What can one man do in a world where life is cruel, and governments cannot or will not help their people? And who wants to stay in a place like this, with its dirt and its terrible smells, if they can drive away from it? The girl caught the photographer's eye. She was in the middle of a group of boys, fighting just as strongly as they were, when the food trucks arrived. But she was pushed down and fell under the boys' feet. The boys stepped all over her, and when she could move again, the bags of rice were all gone. She stayed there, red-eyed, moving her fingers slowly over the dusty ground. The journalist takes his last photo, returns to America with his bag full of films. One of his photographs of the girl sells and is placed on the front cover of a news magazine. "You've caught the face of hunger in Africa," the news editor tells him. He wants to tell the editor that this photograph is just one face, in one village, in a country full of hungry faces. But he does not say it. The photograph is good for him. More people admire his work and want to buy his photographs for their magazines and newspapers. The photograph is in most news stores by the end of the month, even in those bookstores where people go only to read the magazines and not to buy. They look at the face of the African girl and quickly turn away to enjoy the rest of their shopping trip. But the girl's picture stays in their minds. A teenager has just finished looking at the clothes in Vogue, an expensive fashion magazine. She sees the photograph under the heading Starving Africa. Her parents are from Africa. She herself was born and schooled in America, watching American TV, American films, and has never traveled out of America. She is uncomfortable with photographs like these. She remembers her classmates in school who joke about starving Africans. She isn't African in that kind of way, but she isn't truly American either. When she was younger, Cinderella, Snow White, and all the other girls and princesses in the Disney films didn't look like her. When she was older and became interested in fashion, the models on the magazine covers didn't look like her either. Then the magazines found out that Africa had beautiful women. A Nigerian model is in the latest copy of Vogue, dressed in blue and thin, so thin. The teenager feels the fat at the top of her legs. She wants to be thin like the model. She wants to wear jeans that are like a second skin. She wants a photograph of herself with cool, unsmiling eyes like the Nigerian model. She is careful about what she eats, and if she eats too much, she puts her finger down her throat to make herself sick. Why does our world have people who starve and people who decide to starve themselves? It doesn't matter why. The hunger inside this teenager is real. So she stares at the girl in the photograph, does not think about the dry, dusty, hungry land behind her, and admires her cheekbones.
Leonard by Adrienne M. Frater. Read by Nicolette Mackenzie. Women often knit gifts for their families. Wives knit socks or scarves for their husbands. Grandmothers knit little jackets for their children's babies. Buying a gift is quick and easy, but making a gift with your own hands takes longer. And if, like Leonard's wife, your hands are old and stiff and crooked with arthritis, perhaps knitting is not the best thing to do. I'll knit him a scarf. Yes, I'll knit him a scarf the same colour as his eyes. I wait until my niece takes me shopping. I want to buy some wool, I tell her. I want to knit Leonard a scarf. But you don't knit, she says. She looks at my crooked hands and quickly looks away again. And Leonard doesn't go out anymore. But Petra takes me to the wool shop anyway. I want to buy some blue wool, I say to the woman in the shop. The colour of my husband's eyes. I touch a ball of blue wool that feels as soft as a bird's feathers. Isn't this a little too fine? Asks the woman in the shop. No, it's just right. Later, tired after my shopping, I lie back in my armchair and have a little sleep. When the car stops outside, I am still half asleep. And in my mind, I see a younger Leonard standing at the door. His back is as straight as a piece of wood, and his blue eyes smile. Is anyone home? Dan calls. I wake with a jump. Here we are, Mr. Phipps, Dan says to Leonard. Holding Leonard's arm, Dan walks him into the house. Thank you, Dan. I take off Leonard's coat and push some hair away from his eyes. We eat dinner in a silence that aches. I drink red wine, and Leonard eats with a spoon. Then, after I've washed him and put him to bed, I sit down to knit. The needles are silver. The needles are cold. I take the paper cover off the wool, find one end of it, and try again and again to make the first stitch. I am listening to music by Beethoven, and it is nearly halfway through before I have finished the first row of stitches. My fingers hurt, and they won't do what I tell them. But I have begun. Leonard and I met at a concert in Auckland. He was tall, with blonde hair then. I can still see him walking towards my seat. He took off the soft blue scarf that was the same colour as his eyes, and my heart gave a little jump. We talked over supper, and I found out where he lived and what he did. I'm an eye doctor, he said. Just beginning. No money, but I never miss concerts. I made our first date while we were walking out of the concert building. In those days, men always did the asking, not girls. I don't know if Leonard was surprised at my asking him or not. He never said anything. On the days when Leonard goes to the daycare centre, I knit. I plan to finish the scarf for our 53rd wedding anniversary. The scarf is almost finished, and when I hold it to the light, diamonds shine through. I shake the wool, drop a stitch, try to find it again. Was I more in love with Leonard than he was with me? I have so many questions, and I cannot ask any of them now. It's finished, I tell my niece, putting the scarf round my neck. It looks good, she said, if you don't look too closely. Is it a gift? Yes, my last. On the morning of our anniversary, I kiss Leonard and give him the scarf. I know he will not speak, but while I am putting the scarf round his neck, I find that I am still hoping. The scarf is as crooked as my fingers. It's full of holes, long, thin holes, little round holes. Leonard puts his hand up and touches the wool. And for one short moment, his eyes come alive again. Yes, he wants to tell me. Yes, he wants to say. The scarf is soft. The scarf is blue. The scarf is us.
A Pot Full of Tears by Laurie Kubutsile, read by Damien Lynch. Luck comes and goes like a thief in the night. Here 1 minute, gone the next. Some women want children but can't have them. Others have children but can't keep them. Some babies are born into loving families. Others never sleep in their own mother's arms and never know their father's name. And in the end, which of them is lucky and which unlucky? Who can say? The wind whispers through the walls of the little wooden house, blowing the flame of the smoky lamp from side to side. An old man sits, resting his arms on his legs, looking down at the wooden floor. How long will it be, he thinks. The end must come soon. It must. Across the room from him sits a woman. She is a stranger and does not belong in this house. Everything about her is different. She looks different. She sounds different. She smells different. She has sat here in this poor little house for 7 hours, but still the wind carries her expensive perfume, a smell from another world. She and the old man are different in every way, but she, too, sits on an old wooden chair, looking down at the wooden floor. How long will it be, she thinks. The end must come soon. It must. Sometimes they hear a cry from the other room. Each time, the old man feels that cry all through his body. A father feeling a child's pain. A loud scream brings both the old man and woman stranger to their feet. They wait. Minutes later, an old woman comes through the door, holding a baby in a blanket. The blanket is new, brought by the woman stranger. She now takes the baby from the old woman, but she does not move the blanket to look at the baby's face. She is not interested in that. She leaves the house without even a goodbye to the old man. It is months before a baby is taken away in the night from a mother who is a child too young to be a mother. It is months before a father decides that he must lock his daughter in the back room. He must do this because he loves his daughter, and she will never find a good husband if people know her dark secret. It is months before a child with long feet like his father and a curved eyebrow like his mother is taken away in the night. A child who will never see the long feet of his father or the curved eyebrow of his mother. It is morning, on that day months before, and a young woman, hundreds of miles away, wakes up to find a little blood between her legs. Now her husband's family will decide that she can never have children. And her husband's mother will say, once again, that she is no good. She will say that a woman who cannot have children is no use to the family. Tears run down the young woman's face, and she wants to die, because she does not want to give this news to her husband, who was hoping. What can he do? He has fought with his mother again and again, but now he has to agree at last. He has to say, yes, he will take this barren woman back to her family. There is no use for her here. He is the only son of the house, and a wife who cannot have children is no use to him and his family. The trouble is that he has learned to like this woman who is his wife. Maybe he has even learned to love her. He talks to her softly while she cries in his arms. We will do something, he tells her. We will do something. They travel to a country which is at war, where the people live with death every day of their lives. And for these people, a baby who is taken away from them is a baby who has escaped from the house of death. This is what the woman tells them. The woman stranger who smells of expensive perfume. Now she is in the place where she belongs, in a cool, modern office, with carpets on the floor and soft, comfortable chairs. It will cost them money, the woman tells them. A small sum of money for this only son and his barren wife, but a very large sum of money for the old man in his wooden house. But he will not see that money. It is not for him. Months later, the only son and his barren wife have a small boy, a baby with long feet and a curved eyebrow. They are happy. There is a grandson in the house, and the family name will continue. The boy will eat well every day. He will have the love of a family around him. He will never be hungry. He will never know war. He will never have to live in fear and in pain, without friends, without hope, without love. Years are gone, and a young married woman with a curved eyebrow cooks rice in a pot over an open flame. She looks at her small daughter, who shakes her fat little feet at the sky. And like a dream that never ends, the woman sees the long feet of a child who will never know where they came from. The tears run slowly down her cheek, falling, lost, in the steaming pot of rice. The House by Erica N. Robinson. Read by Damian Lynch. Sometimes people's lives go terribly wrong. Maybe their marriage breaks down. They lose their job, their house, their friends. They have to live on the street. They drink too much. They don't wash. Who will give a man like that a second chance? Only a very special kind of person. Like Nan, a fruit seller on the streets of Kingston. Sonny had a new plan, but he did not know if Nan would agree to it. He and Jake were building a house, which was big enough for 2 families. And one day, they decided between them that Sonny's ex-wife Tanya and his children should have it. Nan, Sonny said to her quietly, "I going to let Tanya and the children live in the house." "What?" shouted Nan. "Why?" "It is good for the children," said Sonny. "They will be off the streets, and the boys won't have to hustle like me." "But what about me and you? Where we going to live?" "We will try and build another one," Sonny said. "Lord," he thought, "is she going to leave me now? Maybe this is too much for her. I love her. I hope she understands what I'm trying to do." "So," Nan said slowly, "you tell Tanya already?" "I said something about it." Sonny looked away from Nan's eyes. "She agrees because it would be good for the children. I don't want my daughters living and dying like dogs on the streets of Kingston. And I don't want my boys carrying guns and selling drugs. I want them to have a place to live, Nan. A place where they can study their books and have a better life." "It is a hard thing you ask, Sonny," Nan said quietly. Sonny was a good man, and Nan trusted him. But she could not understand why he still cared about his ex-wife Tanya. Why can't he have a clean break with this woman, she thought. Tanya ruined his life. She went with other men, and she kicked him out on the street. And then she sold all his things. Nan remembered the day when she first met Sonny, a day that changed her life. He was just a street man, a drunkard, and so dirty. There was hunger in his face, in his eyes, even in the way he walked. She watched him for a while, then called out to him, "Old man, come here. You hungry?" "Yes, ma'am." What kind of a street man was this? She thought. Nobody ever called her ma'am. That wasn't a word people said to women who sold fruit on street corners. They usually called out old girl or something worse like dirty skettle. It felt good to be called ma'am. She took some of her fruit and gave it to him. "Thank you, miss," he said. "I'm very grateful." He came by every day after that, and every day she gave him some fruit. Then one day she took him to the church on Harbour Street, which helped street people with their drink problems. They agreed to help him and took him in. 2 months later, a clean, tidy man in a light brown suit stopped by her stall and said, "How are you, madam?" He gave a big smile, showing his white teeth. "Here's something for you," he said, and held out 2 $1,000 bills. "Thank you," Nan said, "but why are you giving me so much money?" "You helped me when I needed someone," he said quietly. "You brought me back to life." Nan stared at him, not understanding. "I was that old drunkard on the streets," he explained, "and you gave me food every day." "What?" said Nan. "I happy to see that you are right now." "Yes, thanks to you. I now have a job with the town council, you know. I drive the garbage truck." Nan smiled happily. She went on smiling for the next year and a half. She felt young again and full of hope. At last she could forget the sad years when she was 16, with a baby, and no chance to go to school and get a better life for herself. She and Sonny started living together, and now they were planning to get married and have a home of their own. She decided to give Sonny this one thing, and to give it freely, because she trusted him. "Okay, go on," she said to Sonny. "Let them live in the house, and we will work together to build our own." Sonny put his long arms around Nan's comfortable body and pulled her close. He understood what she was saying, that she trusted him, that she was strong enough to wait. He put his mouth close to her ear and whispered, "Thank you."